Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something I know keeps a lot of you listening, those of you in HR, CX, research well, keeps you up at night. How do you really hear what thousands of your employees or customers are thinking? Unfiltered.
Yeah, the traditional ways, they often just fall a bit short, don't they?
They do. So our mission here is to explore really openly how AI is shaking things up in qualitative and quantitative research, moving past those, static surveys into something more like an ongoing conversation.
Exactly. You want to look at the pros, the cons, figure out when it makes sense to maybe make the switch.
And how you can actually get the most value out of it for your organization.
Right.
So let's dive in. Why are those traditional methods sometimes lacking?
Well, think about it. Classic surveys. You get survey fatigue, right? People just stop answering.
Or give really short answers.
Right. Or you get surface level stuff, quantitative data, scores numbers. You get the what, maybe, but very rarely the why.
Getting to that why usually means what? Interviews, focus groups.
Yeah, and that's time-consuming, manual work. It just doesn't scale well if you've got thousands of people. And frankly, by the time you analyze it all, the insights, they can be out of date pretty quickly. I mean, I've spent countless hours just coding transcripts. It's intense.
Okay, so that's the challenge. How does this new AI approach actually tackle that? What does it feel like for someone responding?
So the idea is AI-led conversations. Could be text, could even be voice. The AI basically conducts the interview, gathers that initial feedback.
Okay.
And then once that's done, the system creates something they call replicas.
Replicas. Explain that.
Think of them as like living anonymous profiles. They represent groups of people, employees, customers who share a similar viewpoint. It's not about individuals. It's about these evolving segments, like dynamic personas that update themselves based on real-time feedback.
Ah, okay. So leaders can see trends within groups without seeing, who said exactly what.
Precisely. Anonymity is key.
And then the really interesting part, I think, is that leaders can actually chat with these segments, like in a group chat.
Yeah, exactly. In an interface, you can ask follow-up questions, dig deeper on something, clarify an insight. It's like a virtual workshop, but, without trying to schedule anything.
Which is always a nightmare.
Tell me about it. And it's automated. You get summaries, real-time results hitting your inbox, basically, as they come in.
And privacy is baked in.
Totally. No names, no personal data, just these anonymized group signals. It flags things like, I don't know, maybe emerging safety issues or shifts in morale that you might otherwise miss.
So it avoids just drowning managers in data.
That's the goal. It's supposed to only alert you when something meaningfully shifts. We've seen early examples where systems like this summarize hundreds of in-depth interviews in just minutes, flagging things like process roadblocks or maybe talent that's not being used effectively almost instantly.
Okay, so thinking about those traditional pains, where does this AI approach really deliver the goods? What are the big wins?
I'd say three main things. First, depth and speed. Seriously, getting rich qualitative insights from hundreds, even thousands of people basically overnight. That's huge. It helps turn that superficial data into something you can actually act on.
Right. Okay, depth and speed. What else?
Second, engagement. That conversational style. It seemed to cut down on survey fatigue quite a bit. People seem more willing to give honest, candid feedback, especially maybe on sensitive stuff, because that anonymity is built right in.
Makes sense. And the third one?
Continuous listening. It's like having an always-on pulse check. You get up-to-date insights. You're not waiting for that annual survey report that lands 6 months later.
Okay, those are compelling advantages. But are there downsides, considerations?
Oh, absolutely. It's not magic. You need really careful data governance. You've got to watch out for introducing AI bias unintentionally. And, just integrating it with the tech you already have. Your HR systems, your CX platforms, it can sometimes be tricky. It needs thoughtful implementation.
Good points. So that brings us to, when is this kind of upgrade really the right move for an organization? Who benefits most?
Well, it seems ideal for places with large teams or, big customer bases.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already struggling with low response rates on surveys or you feel like you're just getting scores and not the real story.
And how do you get people on board? How do you show the value?
One angle is capturing existing research budgets. You're basically automating work that used to take a lot of human hours, coding, analysis, report writing. The real value, though, it comes from getting those deeper, more honest insights faster. That lets you act quicker, potentially saving costs, improving retention, things like that. You shift from waiting months for a static report to having actionable intelligence, sometimes in days.
It really does sound like a paradigm shift, moving away from those static reports to, well, a living conversation with your organization's collective voice. Which leaves a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. What critical insights, what hidden truths might your teams or your customers share if you could just have an ongoing, authentic conversation with their collective wisdom whenever you needed it?